Watching Good Morning Nigeria, and it's time for our second topic of the day, and it's the 2024 Zuma Film Festival. And it aims to empower the next generation of filmmakers, positioning the forefront of global cinematic growth and economic growth here in Nigeria. Dumola?
Yeah, thank you, Zuma. Yeah, you're right. The festival provides a dynamic platform that bridges the gap between the local and global talents. So we have in the studio to discuss more on this Zuma Film Festival, Ali Nuhu, who is the Managing Director, Film Corporation. Ali Nuhu, you're welcome to Good Morning Nigeria.
Thank you, and good morning.
Good.
And we also have joining us here in the studio Mr. Brian Etuk. He's the Director of Public Affairs, Nigeria Film Corporation. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
And we also have Mrs. Halima Oyalade. She's the Zuma Film Festival Director, Head of Abuja Office, and of the Nigerian Film Corporation. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much.
At
Good
least
morning.
I have another woman to talk to. I'm not alone.
Yeah, gender sensitive.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with the managing director of the Zuma Film Festival. And a lot of people have asked me, what exactly is Zuma Film Festival? What does it represent? And how does it promote cultural exchange and understanding?
Okay, yeah, the Zuma Film Festival is actually a platform we decided to provide for the stakeholders in the movie industry, where they get to meet their global counterparts. It's a platform where you meet with people, exchange ideas, have collaborations and partnerships. And there is also a provision for funding opportunities. So this helps our filmmakers to grow, because they get to learn and understand new techniques of filmmaking. They get to understand how the film terrain is across the globe and how people operate.
So this is your first, as MD of the Film Corporation of Nigeria, this is your first Zuma Festival as head. So what are you bringing? What innovation? What's new, actually?
So many.
Let's hear it.
I am from this industry, and I know how the industry has been thriving over the years and some of the problems, like funding opportunities, the technical standards, generally the capacity. So we have a lot of programs that are outlined, like the capacity building programs, where we need to bring filmmakers together and make sure they are up to date with latest technology. Secondly, providing opportunities where they get to meet funding partners, have discussions and see if there's a way forward. Give them an opportunity to have a pitching session. If you have a very interesting subject to treat in any project that you're working on, you could, talk about it, pitch it to like financial institutions and organizations that could be interested. So that's part of the things we're looking to do. Then, because we have an institution under us, the National Film Institute, where we have series of courses that we do, from the diploma courses, the vocational kind of training we do. We have the BA in Film Arts and also the Masters in Film Culture and Archival Studies. That's another platform where we engage filmmakers and upcoming talents, just so we can better the sector. So all these things are there for us. Then we're also looking at digital literacy. It's very, very important for the industry, especially when you look at the way technology is going, the AI. And that's why the theme of this year's edition is Digital Renaissance, Embracing the Future.
Okay. Doctor, so the Zuma Film Festival, you have a school where you train your upcoming artists, right?
Definitely.
Okay, let me come to Madam Oyelade now, and I know that the purpose of all this film and all Nollywood and all that is to promote the culture and also to preserve it. So, what exactly what role is Zuma playing actually in shaping countries' cultural identity?
All right. So I would say that, like you rightly said, film is a major tool in shaping culture. There are certain countries that have used it so effectively, like the US, that it has defined the country. Most of us, our perception of that country is simply based on the movies I've watched about that. And so that is where we're putting, like, at Zuma Film Festival, we want to bring the minds of the Nigerian filmmakers back to the fact that you have your own stories to tell that are authentic, that the world wants to hear. Like we say, it's your story is always better when it's told by you, because you know it, you understand it. And gradually we're seeing a global acceptance of our own films and our own stories, and that is like exporting our own culture excuse me around the world,
Okay.
using that platform. So at Zuma platform, especially because Nigerian Film Corporation is a government institution, so we're very conscious of that, very conscious of the films, that are selected for screening, and how they help to promote culture and help to just tell the world this is who we are, and this is what we have, this is what we can do, and that we're great people, like we say.
We're great and happy people. Yeah. Well, let's bring in Mr. Brian Etok into this conversation as the Director of Public Affairs, the Nigerian film. What's the support base like, in terms of sponsors and marketing of the festival to local and foreign audiences, and of course investors, because the creative industry, it's raising the bar all the time in Nigeria. So what is the reaction like from people outside the country, towards our cinematography?
Thank you very much for that. I want to believe that over the years, just like Halima said, we want to position Nigeria through the lenses, and we feel that we've been doing that over the years, and we will keep doing it until we really get there. And the Zuma brand, is being upped every other time. And this year, like the MD said, Digital Renaissance, Embracing the Future, signpost the fact that we must also move with global trend in what's happening, in terms of AI technology deployment in filmmaking and all of those, digital distribution and all of that. So we feel that we've gotten there, and we've had so much of support. The support base is increasing in terms of quality support base. And of course, the Federal Capital Territory Administration is a major partner in this journey, because Abuja was designated the official host city. Of course, we've had international and local partners. We've had conversation with AfriExim, Bank of Industry. We've had with private organizations in Istanbul. We have our German partners. We have some partners as well, country partners. We have the Jamaican, we have the Swedish, we have the Spanish, we have the US. They are also partners in this journey, and so it's been that good. But I think it could be better in moving forward.
It could be better.
Yeah.
So let me just ask you, what opportunity does it offer to filmmakers in Nigeria? I mean, especially the young ones, the upcoming ones, the industry professionals. What opportunities does it offer them?
Well, like the MD said, the programs are deliberately designed to enhance capacity building and knowledge, and then promote the filmmaking business, because we feel that outside of the cultural aspect, there's a business angle to all of this, because it's money, and that is the new oil. The creative economy is the new oil. So this is one platform that we are creating these opportunities for our filmmakers and even upcoming ones to see the opportunities that are in filmmaking. And we cannot go all alone. Filmmaking is a global thing now, and we feel that especially when it comes to digital distribution, it's beyond boundaries. So we must actually engage and participate within the ecosystem, the creative ecosystem, the world ecosystem. Nigeria must find its rightful place and dominate that space. And that is what we are using the Zuma Film Festival to promote.
Beautiful. And let's bring in Alinu into this conversation. You heard Tunde Rahman, I'm sure you were listening to him when he talked about, the creative industry, Nollywood and youth-focused, initiative being one of the high points of the presidential visit to France. So how are you going to key into that now?
Yeah, talking about that, our mother ministry just launched the Destination 2030, which is a platform that provides for the teaming creatives, to come on board, key in, display what they have, and in turn, that platforms is targeted at making Nigeria become the center of creativity in Africa. Of course, when you talk about the creative sector, especially film and music in Africa, everyone talks Nigeria. You can see what our music is doing globally, and our films too. Well, the films have the opportunity to be able to do even more than what the music sector is doing, but then the backing is needed, funding is needed. So that's the platform we have that creatives can key in, and we make sure we get our space, just like Mr. Brian said.
Okay, all right. Okay, madam, let me just ask you this question. How do you identify talents, in the industry? How do you identify, promote, and encourage talents in the industry?
Okay, so let me make it specific to Zuma.
Okay, yes.
And let me even specific to this edition. So in this edition, we have 3 platforms for young people. The first one is our regular emerging talents. That's what we call it. So we bring them together, and this year Canon is supporting us, and for the next 4 days, beginning this morning, they're going to be trained. So they've been selected from people, either they're studying film in a film school or something related, and the whole idea is to, within these 4 days, expose them to new things, new tech, and that's why Canon is coming in. They're bringing equipment, new equipment, showing them, and within these 4 days, they will shoot films, and that's from script to screen. They will write the script, they'll do, and so in that process, we're beginning to identify people that are good at what they do. And like the MD said earlier on, they have an opportunity to pitch on the last day in the morning during the producers roundtable. We have producers, we have financiers, we have all that. And the whole idea is to bring some of them that have that we've identified during this process, and we filtered out as, okay, these ones I have promise, and they have a project they want to work on, and they now pitch. We intend also to train like a pitching session for them, like just to help them know how to pitch. And so they pitch to this group of people that can now help them. And we've talked to some of our partners.
When you say pitch, what does it mean?
Okay, to sell a project, to sell,
because we have listeners there.
Yes, okay, to sell a project or an idea. And so from there, they can get funding. That's what we want, to get a project that will get funded. Somebody among the producers and directors to take on these young people and say, okay, I'll mentor you through this process of producing this film. And then Canon is now ready to also provide the equipment for them to shoot that film. So by next year, Zuma, we have somebody coming up with a film that came out because of Zuma, and those films can also go, we can now help them place them in different parts of the world. We also have the US Embassy supporting us. They brought in a cinematographer, and she's already in Nigeria. They begin this month. This is a different class, and she's also taking them, intensively for the next 4 days. And then we have this High Definition Studios, a company that is in partnership with the EU, also doing a program for young people also within Zuma. So those are 3 platforms doing similar things and giving different Nigeria. And what we do is some of these processes, like the EU one, the US, we threw out, we made it open to the public. And so even from the selection, when you read the forms there, how they sign up and all that they say, we now have a process of identifying talent. And okay, this one looks like someone that will do well, they understand what they're doing, they have good ideas and all of that.
Okay. It's about time. I remember when we were growing up, there was, something like this, happened. They would go to school, pick up students to just stage play and all that. Now let's bring in Mr. Etok into this conversation. Can you tell us the festival is coming up soon, and who will be part of it? What kind of category will be there? Who will be participating? Who will be the guest of honor? Who will become a venue, and so on? Let's get it.
The festival is already ongoing. We started yesterday with the opening ceremony at the Jabi Lake Mall. And it goes on today. Just like Halima has said, all of these programs will be running back to back, and some of them simultaneously within the same venue. And we are operating from Chida Event Center in Jabi. And that will be it. Then, of course, we are expecting Nigerian filmmakers to take this opportunity, because attendance and participation is free, although some of those other components of the program require that you register online. At least let's have a data of who is coming, and then we can now profile and then even help you to, you know, escalate your potentials and your ideas. So we require some minimal online registration, but people can still come to the venue and register right there and participate. And so we are also expecting, of course, like she said, film producers, filmmakers, people who have ideas, because the essence of this enablement is to create this ambience and space for Nigerians in particular to take advantage, you know, of what government is doing through the Nigerian Film Corporation to up the game, and then create an enabling environment within the creative ecosystem for them to promote their ideas. So we are expecting students, lecturers, filmmakers, the value chain, producers, directors, actors, of course financiers, because we know that some people have their money, they want to make sure they invest in, you know, this creative space. So that is it again. And then we also have, of course, policymakers, because they have to be part of the whole conversation to see within their space, you know, what they can think with, or what they can do to help the ecosystem, the creative ecosystem, also grow. Of course, I'll leave the MD to speak on the highest, point of some of the programs in terms of the annual film lecture. So I don't know whether...
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so we have the annual film lecture that will be happening. That's on Tuesday, that's tomorrow. And it's one of the high points of the event, because the keynote speaker will be the vice president. And we have so many dignitaries that will be coming from different countries. Like we have the South African Minister for Culture, the First Lady of Sierra Leone, sorry, yeah. So, and many other heads of film commissions from some African countries will be present. Then we have some of the veterans from the industry. They're all going to be there. Then the closing ceremony, which of course will have our Minister, Barrister Hannatu Musawa, the Minister of Arts, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy. Then the Minister of State for the FCT, and some dignitaries, some of the celebrities will also be present. Aside that, screenings are on for some of the films that were selected from the entries, so people can feel free go to Jabi Lake Mall and watch these films.
Okay, I want to ask, I mean, you've talked about, I want to ask, what opportunity does it offer when it comes to collaboration with your international counterparts?
You see, the opportunity it provides is, I think from what Mr. Brian just said, when filmmakers come there, for instance, the pitching session, you know, some of these international collaborators are there, and they could pick interest, and when they pick interest, they will go to any extent to promote whatever content that comes out of the conversations around there. So these are some of the opportunities. Then funding opportunities, of course, because there are certain, for instance, most of the people that have themes that are social related issues in the society, like the problems we have. There are some of these our counterparts that are interested in such kind of subjects, and they go to any extent to fund these projects and push the projects globally. They take them to international film festivals like the Berlinale, the Cannes, and all the other very big platforms that we have.
Okay, the film industry have grown over time, and you were part of the from the very beginning. What you grow in the business of filmmaking. So it's like putting a square peg in a square hole when you were appointed. Now, people have been advocating that there should be a film city, just like we have in Hollywood and all the, though there was a lot of brouhaha when it wanted to happen in Kano, but yeah, are you going to look into that to have a film city where films can be shot on site, on stage, without going to anybody's house to beg for it?
Yeah, that's a very good idea. Having film villages or film studios across the country is one thing that will really help the sector. Yeah, because most of the times one of the problems that filmmakers come across is when they're on the lookout for locations. Some people are not very friendly, or sometimes you even shoot in locations that are given to you by people, and there are some
Conditions.
external objects that keep disturbing your activity as you're shooting. So it's good that we have such film villages, but I think we have some private-owned film villages. For instance, Kuli Afolayan has one, Bolali, Austin Peters, there's one in Kwara State. A couple of people are beginning to do that on their own, but the government on its path is trying to do that. We have the Abuja Film Village, right? As you're driving into Abuja, that's one there. Then the Nigerian Film Corporation is, well, it's still under the carpet because we're discussing with a couple of governments to build film villages in about 2 different states.
Okay, Madam, let me just ask you, what's your support base in terms of maybe sponsorship and advertising and all that?
Okay. For sponsorship and partnership, I would say the FCT is our major partner. They really came on board, I think, 3 years ago as major partners and host city, recognizing the fact that, and this is something that over the years the NFC has tried to do with different state governments. Finally, FCT bought into that idea, and so they are partners, and they support us. They provide a huge amount of support for the festival to go on. And then, of course, like I think the MD has said earlier, and Mr. Brian has said, we have different partners. Like we have this group, Chocolate City, they came on board and they're doing like a huge media partnership for us. So that's part of the support that they're giving us for Zuma International Film Festival. Then we have other organizations, like banks, foreign missions, like we talked of the US, the Spanish, the MD has mentioned them earlier, that come on. But so sometimes some of them may not necessarily be monetary support, but they come run programs or they fly in resource persons, like this year, the US, the Spanish, they've flown in resource persons, all expense paid, we don't have to do anything. And these people come and, run master classes, engage with our own people, create connections and collaborations, and, business begins and, co-productions happen and all of that. The Jamaican Film Commissioner, I said, like the MD, I said, so many of them, so many countries also coming in, to support what we're doing. And then even in people that are talented. Like this morning, we have a film finance masterclass by Michael Orett. He's a film finance expert. So we have those kind of experts that come in, and providing their own intellect, their own experience. People that have been in the industry for long, running masterclasses with the young people and also with the filmmakers. We're creating platforms for discussions and all of. Netflix is one of our major partners, looking at the theme and all the fact that they are a digital platform, where people distribute their films. So they also have been a major support for this.
And NTA
and
too.
NIDA,
And
yes,
NTA
NIDA.
too.
And NTA, oh yeah.
And NTA.
NTA is a major. Oh yes, for the last, the best for last.
Yes, it will stick.
You're a good PR man. You're a good PR man. Now let's talk about publicity.
Yes.
We're hearing about some of these things here now. So how have you been able to, you know, educate the public on this film festival? I mean, inform the public that it's taking place. What kind of medium did you use? And how are you? And, you know, Nigerians are natural actors, whether you like it or not. Natural singers, yes, you know, we have a passion for show business. So what are you doing to,
Don't expose me now.
yeah, passion, you know. And so what are you doing to bring, you know, talents on board? Because there are some talents who feel I might not have an opportunity because I don't have a godfather in the film industry to bring me out and all that. And we have a lot of, you know, issues coming and how actors or actresses become stars. So how are you encouraging people who have talent to come out and showcase it?
Thank you very much. What we've been trying to do, or what we've been doing, is to deploy our informational tools through the traditional media, direct mailing, and then of course through the broadcast medium. And we've engaged with industry platforms, because there are selected platforms for actors, guilds, and all of that. So we share our mails and share some information there. Of course, we also have, you know, dominated at least some space within the social media angle, from, you know, putting our flyers, some jingles, some skits, and engaging. And of course, we tag these young people. They pick and then we share. So we've been having some inquiries. I saw your number. Can we? And because attendance is free at this is a time we don't charge fee for anything like other film festivals. So because we are driving to get somewhere, and we are feeling that at some point, maybe as we go forward down the road, maybe we begin to charge some minimum fees for certain things. But for now, because it's government-driven festival targeted at developing the ecosystem, we may not be able to make those charges now, because we want a situation where Abuja will be like Cannes or will be like Berlinale. Someday, the whole state or the whole FCT should shut down because there's a festival holding. And that's what happens in other climes. In Toronto, in Burkina Faso, when we had the FESPACO, everybody wants to go somewhere. So we are believing that that's principally one of the reasons FCT came on board, because we want to make sure that the auxiliary and other factors that will follow hosting the festival is a number of economic factors, tourism, hotel, and all those things. So that is just it. Then, of course, we rely on the partnership and the benevolence of the NTA, and it's been a wonderful job. Of course, we have some other private media organizations that are helping us, that are coming in. They say, look, do this, we'll give you free platforms, you know, and all of that, appearances and all. So we are grateful to all those media organizations and those individuals who are helping us. We can't do it alone. This is a Nigerian project.
Yes.
So
it's a Nigerian
so
project.
everybody,
all right.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
And all of us are actors.
I want to, okay. You want to add?
Yes, I just wanted to add something about the upcoming talents. You know, people keep talking about I want to come into the industry, but I don't have connections.
People
you
like
see,
us.
coming into the industry.
Yes, people like us.
Coming into the industry is not about connections. It's about you know, what you have to bring on the table as an individual. You know, if you're talented in whatever field and you feel you have the capacity.
Is talent enough?
Yes, talent is enough, because a lot of people work out because they were talented, not because they knew anybody in the industry. You can mention names.
Okay, as we round up this conversation, would you say that the Zuma has actually achieved its goal?
Yeah, over the years, the Zuma has, you know, we might be having a couple of issues, you know, due to funding, I'll say, but then I think it's not easy for a festival, of this nature to be running for this number of years. And with this year's edition, what the reviews we've gotten so far is that, yes, it's getting better. And we hope to do better in the future.
Yes. And on that note, Alinu, Managing Director, Nigeria Film Corporation, thank you so much for coming on Good Morning Nigeria. It's been a pleasure hosting you. And Mr. Brian Etok, Director, Public Affairs, Nigeria Film Corporation, thank you.
Thank you
for acknowledging NTA. And Mrs. Halima Oyelade, Zuma Film Festival Director, Head of Abuja Office, Nigeria Film Corporation. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
balancing the equation here.
Abby.
Well, that's Good Morning Nigeria. Thanks for staying with us. I am Ademola Adeoye. Do have a lovely day.
And I am Juma Yusuf. Watch out for another interesting edition tomorrow.